Gonna keep hitting them with the audio checks.
Still, that one. Is it still on?
Still.
Nope. Oh, wait.
We are good?
I got you.
We are good.
Oh my god.
Hello, hello, world. Welcome to another fun live stream that we have battled back. So we started out having no audio, and I'm thinking we have audio now, so we are gonna get started. You guys missed my great intro, so we're gonna have to run it back and my little fun fact that I had. So we are starting out with another 1 hour live stream. My name's Nick, this is Good Health Saunas, and I'm going to be using a Good Health Saunas Corner Hybrid series. So since it's 4th of July weekend, tonight we are talking about recovery between cookouts, hot dogs, alcohol, desserts, travel, sun, fun, hanging out with the friends and family. People are going to wake up after this weekend feeling a little more stiff and sore than they typically are. And so the fun fact was Americans eat around 150 million hot dogs around 4th of July, or on 4th of July alone. So this isn't exactly the lightest holiday, and today's goal is to show you not how to skip the fun, but really to show you how to have a recovery plan. And so tonight I'm going to show you how an infrared sauna really supports recovery, circulation, relaxation, a better sleep, and then consistency, how that's really important, especially around these fun holiday months and holiday seasons. So we are going to be jumping in the corner hybrid unit. Again, one of my personal favorite units. I don't know which mic is working, so I'm going to keep both of them. And we got the DJI mic working, so I'm going to be able to detach from my leash here. And one of the big things that we notice with using the saunas, and what we get asked a lot, is when's the best time to use a sauna? And kind of like I mentioned with the fun holiday weekend we have coming up here, a lot of people would think, oh, I want to be able to get going that next day right away, and so I should use it that night. And it's actually the best to use it when you're feeling already well rested from the night prior. So get in that next day, make sure you're well hydrated, and that way you're not trying to sweat it out, you're trying to help your body reset. So that's the biggest thing in today's kind of live stream. And again, we're gonna be doing an hour-long session so we can show you how quickly you can reset the body. And typically opening up those detox pathways, those are gonna be super, super important in these summer months to get you feeling just well rested, recovered, and then, like I said, that full body reset. So we're gonna go over a couple fun points tonight. One of the big ones, and one of the main things that we always get asked is, like I said, when's the best time to use it? And we've been talking a lot in these summer months that using it year round is super, super important. And for anyone who's just joining, I wanna always ask you guys, have you used an infrared sauna? If you've just used saunas in general, do you typically like to use it for recovery? Is it for sleep? Is it for detox? Or is it just for plain old good relaxation? And so for me, it kind of checks all those boxes at different points throughout my sessions. If I'm staying in it a little bit longer, I'm gonna amplify those cardiovascular benefits. If I'm only sitting in it for 30, maybe 40 minutes, still getting that muscle relaxation, the muscle recovery, but maybe I'm not really elevating the heart rate as much. And so typically if I push it for the 45-hour-long session, amplify that cardiovascular benefit, really pull out the heavy metals, the toxins, the carcinogens, and that's something that we get exposed to just so much in today's day and age. And so we're gonna be turning on the sauna shortly here. I'm gonna get my mic clipped up so I can go hands-free. And then one thing, and I'm just going through my notes here with the technical difficulties, I'm getting myself situated as well. So one of the big ones that we wanna start out with is, like I said, how the saunas really impact you during those holiday months. And especially not only the 4th of July that we have coming up, but just all the major holidays. That's typically going to be surrounding like heavy foods, alcohol, maybe your sleep schedule gets disrupted. Also just sun exposure this weekend and in these summer months, maybe travel, just extra sore joints, bloating, low energy, Sunday scares or anxiety, and just feeling, like I said, that need for a full body reset. And that's something that I really look forward to. I was golfing a lot this weekend, so having something that I can use to really get into that soft tissue muscle. I did a ton of stretching this morning. I still feel it in my lower back and all the way up through my neck too. So having golf especially is one of the most contorting sports and most abrasive on your back. And same thing if you have a job or your occupation is just pretty laborious, you're out there, you're working a lot, or even if you're sitting in a chair, like I sat in the chair again, we were working on some stuff here in the office, and so sitting 6, 7, 8 hours a day puts a lot of stress on that lumbar. And when you can't move and you can't twist and turn your whole body, that's going to impact just all the rest of the joints, the limbs, the ligaments, and the tendons throughout your entire body. So full body relaxation and recovery is super, super important. And again, nobody wants to skip the cookout. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to enjoy the weekend and have a fun way to get back to your normal self. And that's something that the infrared really benefits, and it's really different than just, let's say, a traditional sauna. So that traditional sauna, again, you're sitting in a hot room. That hot air, it's just heating that ambient air temperature. It's pretty abrasive, like we talk about. It's that kind of a suffocating type feeling. Infrared produces a wavelength that directly gets absorbed into your body. So that's going to increase circulation, raise your core temperature. So that's going to help sweat out the heavy metals, the toxins, the carcinogens, simulating that natural fever-like response. And so needing that hot ambient air temperature isn't necessarily all that important. It's more so making sure you can raise that core temperature. That's going to open up the detox pathways and pull out those heavy metals, toxins, carcinogens. And so we got Coach Keywell in the chat. Thanks for joining. And the question that I had asked earlier is, if you've used an infrared sauna before, when's the best time, or what are the best benefits that you use it for? Is it recovery? Is it relaxation? Is it detoxification? So drop those down in the chat. And we were going over how an infrared sauna is a lot different than a traditional sauna, how it really benefits during these holiday months, and especially with the detox. And so it's super, super important to look at how the sauna actually works in comparison to that traditional hot air sauna. And so I'm turning ours on right now. That's something that if this was a traditional sauna and it was starting at room temperature, it's going to take a lot longer to get it up to those higher temperatures, because again, it has to heat all of this ambient air, and it's getting it from room temp all the way up to those higher temps. Now with infrared, those wavelengths are coming from these heating elements wrapping around my body. And so that's why it's getting about 1.5 inches into the soft tissue muscle, making sure it's improving circulation. And again, those heating elements are 360 degrees around. So that's floor heat, calf heaters, and then front heaters too. So that's something you're not gonna see in a lot of those lower quality units, is those all glass front designs that we talk about, especially after these long weekends. If you have any knee pain, again, shin splints, lower extremities, if you're on your feet a lot. I know my brother's probably out there playing a volleyball tournament this weekend, so he would use it and really benefit from having the 360 degree heat in those lower extremities, which you're not gonna see a lot from pretty much any other sauna out there. And so hydrate first, obviously add electrolytes, and then do a moderate session. When you're coming from a holiday weekend where you were already putting some stressors on your body, you don't want to try and add another one in. The whole reason you're getting in the sauna is to reset. So using it as a moderate session right after that holiday weekend is going to be the best way to get the most benefits and just, again, get that full reset. And so we got it heating up right now. Started around 70 degrees. We're going to get it up to around core body temp, so around that 100, 110 degrees. That'll heat up with the unit. And we got a couple people in the chat. That's the JG Way joined. Why? He said, hey. I say, hey, how's it going? Have you used an infrared sauna? If you're looking for one, this is a Good Health Sauna corner hybrid unit, one of my personal favorites. You get a nice L-shaped bench. If you haven't used a sauna, an infrared sauna, have you used a traditional sauna before? So those are two different types of benefits or two different types of experience. Each one does have certain benefits. A lot of those traditional sauna benefits you're getting in an infrared sauna, and then a lot more too. And so this is what a full session looks like, kind of tips and tricks, and we're going over how this holiday weekend coming up, the infrared sauna is really beneficial to get that full body reset. And so I've got the unit heating up here. It's only about 92 degrees. We got it heating up to around core body temp, so around 100, 110 when I'll be getting in. You can set this unit up to 165. So this is a Good Health Sauna's hybrid series. Compared to a lot of the other lower quality units where maybe 140 is the max temps, or even if they're advertising those higher temperatures, you really shouldn't pay all that much attention. It's how much heating elements are there and how much infrared distribution are those heating elements producing. So with a Good Health Saunas, you're getting 360 degree. What does that mean? So that not only means these big back heaters, and when I say big back heaters, companies will still show you this big back heating element or this big back panel. When you actually do a deeper dive and you look to see where those heating elements are placed, if it gives you a glass corner here that may look nice, functionality when you're sitting in it, you're gonna notice you're not getting that infrared throughout the entire unit. It's also gonna take a lot longer to heat up. Glass is gonna hold the heat in as well. And so the unit's already about 100 degrees. So with a Good Health Saunas, you'll see that nice quick heat up time. If this was again a traditional sauna, I'd be sitting here for probably 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours plus, just to get it up to the 160s, 70s, 80s, to where I could finally get in. And then all that hot air has to go somewhere. So infrared saunas are a lot more practical for, again, that everyday use, not putting that extra stressor on your body like we were talking about after already a fun holiday weekend where you're kind of going out and doing a little bit more than you would on a typical, like I said, weekend, whether that's sun exposure, that's travel, whether that's just moving around a lot more or eating more than you typically would. So using the sauna as a tool to, like I said, get that full body reset, and an infrared sauna specifically did not amplify the abrasiveness of just that high heat in a traditional sauna. And so we got to get the towels placed in here. That's one of the nicest things about an infrared sauna too, is it's minimal to no maintenance. So just towels on the bench, towels on the floor, and then that'll make it super easy in the long run. So I can just take the towels out after the session here. I can run the air purification unit, so just the ionizer ozonator, and that'll keep the unit clean. So minimal to no maintenance, towels on the bench and on the floor. We got a couple questions, and Tara is joined as well. And JR says, will GHS ever offer a remote start? And Junior, depending when you got your sauna, you should or you may have a reservation mode built in. So that reservation mode, you can have it preset to turn on at a certain time. So if you want to get in at 7 a.m., you just have it preset to turn on at 6:30, 1:45. So then when you want to get in, unit's already heated up for you. All you got to do is just get in, close the door, and you're ready to rock and roll. So speaking of which, I got to get my towels put in here. And the big thing with looking at all the different saunas out there, I know there's tons and tons of different options, and it's really hard to decipher, like I said, what separates low quality units, what even makes high quality units. And so looking for heating elements and the actual heater design, that's more important than having a tablet or having something that may advertise up to 180, 200 degrees as an infrared sauna. And that really isn't the point of an infrared. It doesn't need to get that hot. It's more so how quick can it raise your core body temperature. So we got just some towels on the bench and on the floor. Units at about 103 degrees right now. So you saw a nice quick heat up time. And that's something where having it in your home is super beneficial compared to someone who, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have used one at the gym before, and that's great where you can use it maybe a couple times a month, but when it's in your own home, you can use it consistently 3 to 4 times a week. So having that ability and then compound that with these, again, fun holiday weekends, it's how you can plan to recover and reset your body to make sure you're setting yourself up for success for the rest of the week. And so that's, again, a big emphasis here at Good Health Saunas is the lifestyle around using the sauna. It's not a one-time fix. It's gonna have immediate pain relief. It's gonna feel amazing the first time you use it, yes, but those long-term health benefits and those compounding health benefits as far as reducing your risk for Alzheimer's, dementia, that's where you see and you get to feel a ton of the benefits. And we got Tom, does sweating have a lot to do with what you ate or drink throughout the day, salty foods, etc.? That's a great question, Tom. And so sweating and what you ate, what you drank, activity levels, all those play a huge role in how much you're gonna sweat. Now, if I was out there and I ran, let's say, a couple miles the day before and I went to go use the sauna that night for recovery, I'm probably not gonna sweat as much just because I'd be naturally a little bit more dehydrated from my run. Now, if it was more of a casual Sunday and I probably didn't drink enough water, but I was still eating a ton of food, maybe wasn't moving around as much as I should have been, I still might not sweat as much, but that's just because my circulatory system's a little more packed up. Again, my detox pathways aren't as opened up. And so if I was, again, just going through my regular week, having my regular amount of water, regular amount of food, exercise, I'm probably gonna start sweating within 10, maybe 15 minutes. That profuse, river sweat will happen within 25, 30 minutes. I'm dripping sweat. And so really good question there. And got a 3-person signature series, JR says, a couple months ago and works wonderfully. That's awesome, JR. I gotta ask, what did you get it for? That was one of my questions too. Were you looking for recovery? Were you looking for detox? Were you looking for circulatory benefits? Or were you just looking for relaxation? So those are always kind of the key health benefits. We got a regular guy in here as well. Welcome. We're gonna go jump in the sauna here shortly. It's already up to 110 degrees, so that's probably close to, again, those max temps where you'd wanna be getting in. Because if I waited for it to get up to the 165 or that set temperature, those heating elements cycle on and off. I wanna be in there the entire time those heaters are running to, again, maximize that absorption of infrared. And so I know I was talking about earlier, if you are researching, there's, again, a ton of information, and don't just ask how hot the sauna gets. Ask how many heaters they have, where they placed, what's the cabin made of, what are the EMF levels, and who services it if something goes wrong. Those are the most important questions. A cheaper sauna may still make you sweat, but it doesn't mean it's giving you medical grade infrared coverage. If there's no front heaters, if there's weak side heaters, or if it's just cheap composite plywood construction, you're not comparing the same saunas. And that's something that we try and see and really show people out there with giving you the option to do like a quick virtual tour. If you want to do a quick one-on-one with me, we have this QR code. You can always scan that as well too. So more than happy to show you all the different options out there. And again, we have a signature series and we have the hybrid series. I typically use the hybrid series in the lives here just with the transparent glass. Makes it easier for the camera, less reflections and all that stuff too. So we have the signature series, which is still as good, if not better than anything else out there. Hybrid series, like I said, you can set it up to 165. It's for someone who likes that hotter traditional style sauna, still wants all the benefits of the infrared, where our signature series is really designed for someone who wants true infrared health benefits, a little bit lower ambient daily heat, but you can still get all the circulatory, the relaxation, and the recovery benefits. And so the right model really depends on how you want to feel inside the sauna, not just the size of the box that you're sitting in. And so we got to jump in here, guys. And again, the corner hybrid unit, 3-person, L-shaped vents, one of my personal favorites. So we will see you guys in there. We'll meet you guys in. Alrighty, welcome in, guys. We're coming in from the corner hybrid unit. So we're just starting out our session. We're going to show you guys starting heart rate is about 79, 70, upper 70s. And we're going to get it up in the 120s, 130s. We got a couple questions come in when we were jumping in here, so we'll read those off. One of them is all of the health benefits Junior said, but detox was on the top of the list. That's awesome. We got a regular guy who said, what's the best way to pair a sauna and a cold plunge? Which one first? So that's a great question too. So regular guy, using a sauna, using a cold plunge, if you're going to use one first, I would definitely probably recommend, I would personally want to go sauna, then cold plunge. You're always going to want to end with cold. So I don't really think there's any benefit necessarily going cold or hot first. If you want to kind of bounce back and forth, that's probably how I would recommend doing it, just based on my personal experience and how I probably would enjoy doing it the best. When I do hot cold contrast therapy, the biggest thing I do notice is always ending with cold and wanting to go back into the warm. But if you make it that extra 5-10 minutes, having an ending with the cold, it's going to pull all that blood to your internal organs, and then it's going to naturally allow it to flow back out through all your extremities. So it's a super euphoric feeling. Again, really beneficial for muscle relaxation, muscle recovery. So tons and tons of benefits that way. We got CN Gazdecki joined. Welcome. We are just starting out their 1 hour session, so we've had some good questions so far. We went through a couple big differences on exactly what separates lower quality units, higher quality units. Again, we're using the corner hybrid series, so this one you can set it up to 165. Now, the ambient air temperature is around 120 in here. That necessarily isn't as important, because I know no matter where I sit in here, I'm getting even heat distribution. And that's something that we hear from a lot of our customers is, well, what are you getting the sauna for? Oh, well, I have knee pain, or I just had a hip replacement, or my shoulders, my feet are super sore. I'm a nurse, I'm on my feet for 10, 12 hours. I'm a teacher. I work in trades. My lower back is super sore. And those are all key aspects on which sauna is going to play a role for you. It's just me that's going to use it. It's me and my wife who are going to want to use it together, and I'd probably lean more towards a 3-person, because a 2-person, it's super comfortable. For one, you can still fit 2, no problem. But if you want something where 2 people can fit super comfortably, and maybe even have room for like 1 person to put their legs up on the bench if we're in like a corner unit like this, that 3-person is definitely more of a comfortable 2-person sizing. So that's why we always recommend just jumping on a quick call with us. We can go through a ton of different options, show you guys what really separates higher quality units from a lot of those lower quality units out there. And so, again, for someone who has just used a traditional sauna and has maybe never used an infrared sauna, there's tons and tons of great ways for you to experience a Good Health Saunas, whether that's either coming to one of our events that we have all nationwide, so that's pretty much anywhere, or our commercial applications all across the country. And we have a regular guy said, thanks, I have the 3-person hybrid and just got a stock tank to build out into a cold plunge. That's awesome, regular guy. That is absolutely awesome. So I hope you love, and I know you will enjoy your 3-person hybrid. Do you have the corner unit, or did you get the straight? I always am curious, and I hear from customers that both are very, very popular options. And like I said, that corner, if you had a corner that you're thinking of putting one in, you're maximizing your sauna space with this big L-shaped bench in here. And then you're not taking up a ton of floor space, because like I said, you can tuck it right into the corner here. So that's great, regular guy. Love to hear that, and super excited to hear from you, and hopefully you can drop us a good review. Those always help us out a lot. Customers love to hear from others on how their experience went. And so we are only a couple minutes in, and I can already start to feel a little sweat. So that's just warming up only about a couple minutes into my watch paused 45 seconds in. Unfortunate series of events there. So we're going to have to go off a rough time. But that's okay. We got the straight due to space. We had to put it in. That's fair. And most people, like I said, that straight is still a phenomenal size. We got Allison who's just joined as well. Miss Sheehan has just joined. Welcome to the chat, guys. We are doing an hour-long session in a Good Health Sauna's Corner Hybrid series. If you're new here, we go through like tips and tricks. This episode specifically is on 4th of July and not how to avoid the fun this holiday weekend, but how to best plan for your recovery and how to get back in the action that next day and to not have those Sunday scares or really feel the effects from all the fun food, the extra sun exposure, the travel, or again, just all the holiday fun that everyone's expecting this weekend. So for me, hour-long session, great way to reset the whole body. Not only am I getting ready for this upcoming weekend, but it's a great way to reset from this past weekend. I was golfing a lot, so having something get into that soft tissue muscle compared to just sitting in a hot, stale ambient air temperature room, it's really more enjoyable and I can get that deeper, more therapeutic benefit. And so you hear that a lot from people who have maybe never used an infrared sauna before and they try it out for the first time. They say, I can actually breathe in there. I was able to sit in there a lot longer. I felt a lot better and I wasn't nearly as exhausted or wiped out getting out of it. And so we got Cassie Lou in the chat as well. We have a few people who have been chiming in as far as where they got theirs, when they got theirs, and customers from previous lives have said it's one of the smartest investments they make. They use it almost every single day, and you'll see here in the corner how comfortable it is for me to just stretch out. I can move around a ton, and that's all things to consider when you are on your infrared sauna search. So the unit's only about 128. We're going over how you really don't have to focus on that ambient air temperature, and again, with this nice quick heat up time, no matter where I'm sitting in the sauna, I'm getting that even heat. And because it has front heaters in here, I can still put my legs up on the bench. I'm getting even heat distribution, or I'm getting and feeling some of the benefits just because of how many heaters are built in here. So we got Sarah has joined. Welcome, Sarah. We're only about 5, maybe 10 minutes into our hour-long session. So this is the Good Health Sauna Corner Hybrid series. And again, it's only 128 roughly ambient temperature. Full spectrum infrared compared to just far infrared is another super important thing. Why you want a full spectrum compared to just far is, again, that nice quick heat up time. The even heat distribution is going to come from having the carbon heaters. If you only have ceramic heaters, or if you only have the alloy heating elements and just one rod behind your back here, that's going to create a very isolated hot spot. And so carbon heaters are great for evenly distributing the heat. Takes a lot longer to heat up, and then it's also, the carbon heaters take a little bit longer to heat up, but that's why we add the alloy heaters in the front, which get very hot very quickly. We also add the 180-degree reflector plates, so again, that's going to evenly distribute the heat throughout the entire unit. So we are starting to get a good sweat going now. Again, dripping from all portions of my body compared to having that high abrasive air temperature. And I used a traditional sauna. It was the other week at the gym. I noticed how within 5-10 minutes I grabbed my hair and it felt like it was burning. So having an infrared sauna not just heat that ambient air temperature is why you're going to get a lot more benefits. Cardiovascular health. We got Erica. Thanks for joining. Erica is also followed. Thank you for the follow, Erica. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, drop them down in the chat. If you've used an infrared sauna before, if you're thinking about getting one, you can always schedule a one-on-one with me or any of our other great employees here at Good Health Saunas. If you want to stop out to one of our locations, we have one here in Waukesha, also Brookfield or Waukesha, and then we have one up in Appleton, and then also the Mall of America as well, so up in the Twin Cities. So check out one of our locations, or look us up and see if we're going to be at one of the state fairs or county fairs nearby. We got Dr. Cindy Ross, who has joined. Welcome. I know she has one of our saunas and absolutely loves it. We're in a Good Health Saunas Corner hybrid series, and we're going for an hour-long session. We're going over a lot of the benefits of using an infrared sauna as just a way to not, like I said, avoid the bonfire this weekend, avoid the holiday fireworks, but to have that tool to get the full body reset. So Dr. Cindy Ross said, at Silly Twilly, this is where I bought mine. Love these guys. Love you too, Dr. Cindy Ross. I think she has the Good Health Saunas 3-person straight unit. So check out her page. She posts tons of great content as far as health, longevity, tips, tricks, and if you have any questions, she is always a great resource as well too. So thanks for chatting. Love to hear that you're enjoying your sauna, doctor. And we are going to enjoy our session, like I said, in this Good Health Saunas Corner Hybrid series. So heart rate's only about 90 beats per minute right now. So again, slowly elevating that cardiovascular, or slowly elevating that heart rate is going to improve that cardiovascular health long term. And then I'm not putting that high abrasive air temperature just on the external surface. So like I said, with my hair feeling like it was burning, I felt like my nose was burning. I felt like I really couldn't breathe. And the infrared sauna, it's slowly elevating that heart rate. So it's that passive cardiovascular workout compared to that traditional sauna, where within 5-10 minutes spiked my heart rate. So anyone with like a heart condition, or if you're worried about blood pressure, you can actually get a lot more benefits with an infrared sauna. And same thing if you don't want to go in and get that deep sweat, you can still sit into lower temperature, absorb the infrared, and get a lot more of that circulatory benefits, because what's happening is the vasodilation of the blood vessels. So that's going to expand all the blood vessels in your body. Expanding all the blood vessels, it's like running all the highways. If you're from around here, you know all the construction that we have going on. And same thing on those busy holiday weekends when you need all those highways opened up. You don't want to have construction where you're running into constricted blood flow, causing aches, pains. Again, getting something and having it as a tool for that full body reset is where you notice and really can see and feel those long-term health benefits. So we are starting to get a good sweat going. The unit is reading about 140 in here, so not for me necessarily as important, but I know everyone's always curious about that air temperature, and having the ability to set it up to 180 or 165. We saw it earlier where customers had maybe gotten a sauna and they had just looked very briefly, picked out the first one that looked good, and then within a year they reached out to us. They were looking to replace it. It didn't get hot, it took forever to heat up, and then they realized the more expensive part was actually picking the wrong sauna rather than picking the right one the first time. And so those are all key things, and why we come out here and show you guys and come to the events and give you an opportunity to actually touch, see, and feel the units. I was talking with the customer earlier who had said they had been on so many different websites they couldn't even remember who was calling them or which company they had looked at. And that's why for us, we post everything from our air quality reports to our EMF levels to all of our customer reviews right to our website. You can go on Google, and then you can even go on like the Better Business Bureau or third-party companies who actually have real customers post their real reviews about their experience from start to finish on how much they love their sauna and how it's the best investment they made and should have probably did it years and years ago. So again, starting to get a good sweat going. Only been about 15 minutes in here, so we are staying super hydrated per usual. And as one of the other tips, kind of going into this holiday weekend, like I said, for me that might mean a little more sun exposure, so making sure I'm going to be drinking a lot more water, and that's even before the weekend starts. You don't want to be going in, having the gas tank falling on E, and then having to try and fill it up to full. If I go in and it's already half and 3/4, it's going to be a lot easier to keep it at full and not have to worry about dehydration. And same thing with using the sauna consistently, making sure you're staying super, super hydrated. We have Kath has joined and Juan has joined as well. So you guys are the whole reason why we come out and we do the lives, to show you what a full session can look like from start to finish. And I'm going to see if Alexis can scroll down on my computer a little bit on the outside, just to see. No, on my computer on the outside. And so we are again about 15 minutes in. We have Andy has joined. Welcome, Andy. We are only about 15 minutes in, and we are starting to get that deep, deep sweat going. Heart rate's again about 90-ish, upper 90 beats per minute. Corner hybrids, my personal choice, especially in these live streams, gives me plenty of room to move around and also put the screens around and see what you guys are saying. So we've only been in for about, again, 15 minutes. Units only around 140 degrees. I'm starting to sweat because I'm raising that core temperature. And to Tom's question earlier, does sweating have a lot to do with what you ate or drank throughout the day? 100%. I knew I was doing the live stream tonight. I was drinking a ton of water throughout the day. I was probably drinking a lot of water last night and yesterday, because up here in Wisconsin we've been hit with this brutal heat wave. So I know I've just been trying to stay extra hydrated. I had some electrolytes this morning as well. So just allowing my body to run and again reset with opening up the circulatory system, getting blood flow throughout all the extremities. And I was talking about earlier with my back, I was golfing a lot this weekend, and so I stretched, I rolled out, nothing really got to that deep and soft tissue muscle, and that's why you'll notice I'm sitting right up against this back heater. We get people who always ask, oh, can I lean up against these, or is anything in here going to burn me, hurt me, harm me? And that's one of the nice parts about an infrared sauna is you're not having this one very hot heat source like a furnace style heater that just has to heat the ambient air temperature, where if I was in a small confined space like this and I have one small furnace that has to heat all of that air temperature up that quickly, it's going to make that air super stale, super stagnant, and then I just have to be concerned about anyone touching it, bumping into it, like myself, for how much I move around in here. And so having, again, an infrared sauna, especially like our hybrid series that gets this hot this quick and allows for you to get that same traditional style sweat, but then all the benefits of the infrared, is really why it's become so popular and the highest rated infrared sauna on the internet. So we got Jay Walker's joined. Welcome. And we got about 40 minutes left in the hour-long session. We've had tons of great tips and tricks so far with the holiday weekend coming up. One of them being making sure you're staying super hydrated, but then I also like mentioning not to go in the sauna just right after that extreme, or right after that stressor of a weekend. So let's say you went out, you went on the lake, you went golfing, you're out with the family, you're having the barbecue, you're having the picnic, you're out on the hike, and then you want to try and use that sauna at night to get the benefits. You may want to wait till that next morning when you're feeling a little more well rested. You've had time to drink some water, because then you're not putting two stressors on top of each other. Now, if you do want to use the session, or if you do want to use the sauna that night, you still can. I would recommend using it for a little bit shorter of a session, maybe a little bit more of a moderate temperature. You're going to get a ton of the benefits. You're still going to feel great when you use it, but don't go in there and try and say, I'm going to sweat out all the sins from the weekend. Come in, use it as a tool, have it as more of, like I said, that whole body reset, and it's helping your body get back to that more normal regulatory state. So we got Jay Murphy is joined as well. Welcome. We are deep into a session here, absolutely sweating more than usual, like I said, just because I probably drank more water than I typically do, being that we've had some of these hot summer days finally here in Wisconsin, but having also fixing my towels, guys, because that's key. Towels on the bench and on the floor, but that just makes the unit a lot easier. Keep clean. So then I can kick my legs up on the bench here. Makes it super, super easy in the long run. So like I said, keep it clean with just some nice thick towels on the bench. You can take the damp towels out when you're done. Heart rate is still up in the upper 90s, just like my golf game, unfortunately. Working on getting that down. And with my golf game, I was also thinking about getting a new driver. And I went and I was looking at them, and same thing like the saunas, there are so many different options out there. And I was like, well, which one's going to be the best one for me? Is it going to be Callaway? Is it TaylorMade? Is it Titleist? Is it, I don't even know, any of the other ones, where those are all questions where, just like the saunas, you look and you see all these different brands from big box stores and a few other companies that may carry saunas as one of their other brands, and it's hard to decipher and even tell if this is going to be the right sauna for me. And that's why I always encourage everyone to schedule a quick call with us. We can walk through all the options. We can just go through the industry and kind of help you see what maybe you're not seeing from just pictures on the internet, where we deal with these units hands-on every day. I've helped thousands, tens of thousands of customers all across the country find the best sauna for them. And what does that mean? That's kind of tossed around a lot too, from the best sauna, and then it gets turned into, well, what's the best sauna for me? And that gets drawn into, what are you trying to get from it, and what are you looking to use it for? And the best sauna for Tim might not be the best sauna for Mary. So with us, we have different options, different sizes. That's why we have 2 different series to fit pretty much any need for health benefits, from budget to space, shape, size. And especially with our Memorial Day sale and wrapping on or getting started with our 4th of July sale here, we're into a very neat spot to really get advantage or take advantage of some in-stock units before we get into these colder months, when everyone starts to think about their saunas, and then lead times typically start to jump out there. So if you want to get your sauna, again, we're planning, just like this weekend, planning ahead to make sure that we're going to take advantage of all the benefits of the infrared sauna by using it throughout the weekend at appropriate times, drinking a ton of water, staying super, super hydrated, but then also making sure that we are... Lost my train of thought there because I was thinking about the water. And so we're sweating again pretty good already, only about 20 minutes in, and so heart rate is now in the 110s. I was fixing my towel to just cover that floor heater now. After I just had my feet on it for the first 15-20 minutes, I can really feel, just again, all the muscles in my feet having that true built-in floor heater. That's something you're not going to see from a lot of those lower quality units out there. We got Fahad Dranger joined, SS is joined as well, Olivia joined in the chat, welcome. We're only 20-ish minutes into our 1-hour session. We've went over tons of tips and tricks on how to use the sauna as, again, a tool for preparing and resetting the body. And that's what I was talking about earlier with our 4th of July sale and those in-stock units. We have immediate delivery, shipping, no matter where you're at in the country. Depending when you're looking to get it, a lot of customers may not need it right away, but if you are looking to take advantage of those in-stock savings, beat that seasonal demand and that extended lead time, give us a call. schedule a chat. We're more than happy to, like I said, just walk through the entire industry, show you what separates a low quality unit from a lot of the higher quality units out there. So, this is where we like to get on what we call the struggle bus. We're only going to be booking a ticket on the low express right now. So, the unit is getting into the 150s, 147 ish right now. And heart rate, again, up in the 110s is when you're starting to get those cardiovascular benefits. And we talked a lot this episode on ways to use the infrared sauna, when's kind of the best tips, or when's the best time to use it this holiday weekend. I always like to ask, and I was asking earlier, what are you guys looking for when you're thinking about an infrared sauna? Is it detox? Is it relaxation? Is it recovery? Is it skin health? What are you looking for? Drop it down in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. We do these lives every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this is the best place to get the realest, most up-to-date information in the industry, from whether you guys just have questions from what's a good sauna. Send it over, send us a link, and I will be more than happy to even just point you in the right direction. I think, Bernard, welcome to the chat. We're about 40 minutes into the session here, and heart rate is about, again, 115, sweat profusely. Whew. All right, struggle bus may move up to a moderate ticket very quickly. That was a quick upgrade. I think we had some status on the struggle bus we didn't utilize yet. So again, the unit's about 150. We are starting to absolutely sweat buckets in here. Heart rate's getting up there, and it's only been about 25 minutes. If this were a traditional sauna, again, I'd feel like my hair is gonna fall out. I couldn't breathe. My nose, my mouth, my ears would feel like they're burning. But in an infrared sauna, I'm having that same traditional style sweat, and I'm getting all of those benefits as far as the cellular regeneration. There's been a lot of talk about just activating the mitochondria, and especially with red light therapy, how that activates your mitochondria differently than an infrared sauna, being that they are different wavelengths provided. And so one thing may do certain things, and there are things that definitely do others. Make sure you are getting something that you're actually looking for, whether that's skin purification, heart health, just detox, just aches, pains, inflammation, arthritis. There's tons of options out there, and Good Health Saunas has been doing it for 20 plus years, seen the entire industry from ins and outs. What makes low quality units that pop up every couple of years, and why you see the same low quality units from big box stores with just different names on them, where Good Health Saunas has been tried and true in the industry with thousands, tens of thousands of real customers all across the country who absolutely love their sauna and say, again, it's one of the best investments they made. They use it almost every single day. They wish they got it a lot sooner. And so that is the moral of the story with this upcoming holiday weekend. Again, we're not trying to remove the fun. We're taking ways and adding ways to get you back out there quicker, and so you can enjoy and get out there and not have to worry about how I'm feeling, what I ate, what I'm doing, and just go out there and live in real life, which is definitely hard in our screen-heavy society. That was a good little rant on that. Again, we are absolutely dripping in here, guys. We must drink a lot of water, assuming it was from not using the sauna this weekend. Kevin has joined as well. Patricia has joined. Well, we're on the bus driver just called up us. We're on the struggle bus, because I clearly can't think or talk right now. Kevin Ross with the fire emojis. He knows. He's been there. Do you have one of our saunas, Kevin? We're about probably 30 minutes into an hour-long session. It's been a good one so far. But happy 4th of July to everyone out there, and hope you guys can enjoy a fun holiday weekend. Be safe. Use your sauna as, like I said, a full body reset. There's not many things out there that can do that from a natural, holistic standpoint. And the sauna is definitely one of the best, if not the best thing out there. Hair gel's kind of getting in the eyes, guys. Eyes to God. Eyes today, guys. Can't talk. The 7, yeah. Whew. Yeah. That, whatever that means in the chat. But with only 30 minutes in, we should be able to go for another at least 10. But the unit's up to 150. If you're not feeling like this after your sauna session, then you probably don't have enough heaters, or you don't have medical grade heaters that are actually producing infrared that's getting into that soft tissue muscle. So that's why we encourage everyone, ask what the sauna is made of, what type of heaters are there, who services it if anything goes wrong, and if it doesn't have a good warranty, that means it's probably not going to last you a long time. Whether that's failing components, you're falling through the bench because it's got paper thin construction. Use real lumber with 360 degree heat from a reputable company, and you won't have anything to worry about other than when your next sauna session is. And so we have C. Piper in chat. Inferno has joined as well. Antonio and Candy, welcome. We are deep on the struggle bus, guys. You missed us get upgraded all the way to the front very quickly today. But the unit got hot super quick. I don't know if it's because it's humid outside, where maybe my body temperature already was raised, just naturally being that it is warmer outside, starting to sweat a lot quicker. But one thing is, I notice when I do use the sauna in these summer months and consistently throughout the summer months, is I may sweat a little bit quicker, but I cool off a lot faster. And so we were, like I said, playing golf this weekend. It finally started to get warm. I noticed I started sweating right away, but that wasn't a profusely dripping sweat. It was a cool myself off, regulated my body temperature super quick. So I was able to go out there, play great, had a great time, wasn't sore, wasn't stiff, didn't tighten up throughout the entire time. And that's accrediting to consistent usage of the infrared sauna. And so whether that's night, day, anytime you use it, you're going to get benefits. Consistency beats intensity. And like I said, if you had a stressor, if I did want to use it after I played 18 holes, I wouldn't necessarily go in and try and sit in at the highest temp for the longest session that I ever had. I would go in at a little lower temperature, go in for a little bit longer session, really emphasize that infrared getting into that soft tissue muscle. And if you've never felt true full spectrum infrared getting into that soft tissue muscle about an inch to an inch and a half, it's a night and day difference from just a hot box or a hot room type environment. And so, Jordan, welcome. You always catch us lacking about 35 minutes into the session on the struggle bus, and you caught us absolutely dripping buckets. But that's what the sauna is there for, guys. Amplifying that detox. So what happens is raising that core temperature elicits a fever-like response. If you've ever been super sick at night, sleeping throughout the night, what are you doing? You're naturally sweating. Your body's trying to fight off that fever. With the sauna, you raise that core temperature. It forces your body to naturally start to sweat. So you're going to push out those heavy metals, toxins, carcinogens that just get built up and stored in our system. And we're exposed to so many of them through the plastics, the heavy metals, the toxins, just the air that we're exposed to, that sweating is the most efficient, the most effective way to get it all out. And so, heart rate up in the 120s, and that's what we're looking for from that high red series, giving me that higher heat. I've only been in here for, like I said, about 25-30 minutes, and we are just dripping sweat. If you're just joining, let me know if you're looking for a sauna for detox, for sleep, relaxation, circulation. If you've never used an infrared sauna, if you've just used a traditional sauna at the gym, you probably know how good it feels to sit inside one, but I don't know if you know how good it feels to use one 3 to 4 times a week. That's a night and day difference too. We gotta stay hydrated. If you guys have any questions, like I said, drop them in the chat, send us over any DMs, click the link, watch all of our educational content, tons of great info from what to look for, what not to look for, from real customers, from people who deal with these units hands-on, like I said, every day and have for 20 plus years. So, we are deep in session. I think we're about to fall off the struggle bus. We may need to add a new edit for that. Totally kidding. We're still on the struggle bus. If we ever fall out of the sauna, then we'll add that edit in after. But that wouldn't happen unless we were really, really pushing it, because it's a lot, like I said, more controllable with that temperature. You get the full digital control panel. We didn't even change the colored lights, and I know a lot of infrared saunas can look the same with Bluetooth speakers. They have lights. They look like wooden construction, but like I said, ask them about the heater placement, the heater design, the construction materials, and if anything happens, what do you do about it? Those are all the most important parts, and kind of the second fold to what we hear from customers that may have gotten one. Inferno 724 says he got his about 7 years ago. That's awesome. I hope you absolutely love it. Which one did you get, and what did you get it for? Were you looking for detox, aches, pains, circulatory, heart health? But you'll notice how there are different benefits that you can get with infrared saunas that you're not going to get from just traditional saunas. And that's something that it's not on the converse. There aren't benefits you're getting with the traditional sauna you're not getting with an infrared. And that's something that we try and explain to people all the time and give you an opportunity to sit in our saunas, do a virtual tour, look at the heater placement, look at the heater design, make sure it's actually going to get you heaters where you need them most, whether that's lower extremity, upper extremity, what type of heaters, how hot does it get and how quick does it get there, are good questions, but those aren't going to be the most important things if you've had your sauna for years and years and it's a bulletproof sauna. It's going to be, how long does it last me? How many heaters are there to make sure they're getting even heat distribution? And then it is going to be nice to get it up to those higher temperatures, but that's kind of the tertiary part. So I think that'll wrap it up. We got Miss Amanda. Inferno has the 3-person. Good to hear from him. We got to wrap it up because we are deep on the struggle bus. Heart rate is up there in the 120s. And for another session, Anthony, Tony, don't make me stay in for another 5 minutes. Just took a 1 hour at 160 soaked. Tony, I'm dripping. And we're at about, 155. Don't get me wrong. Tony is one of the best. He's had his sauna for a year, maybe 2 years going on now. Absolutely loves it. Says it's one of the best investments he made. He uses it almost, I would say, a couple times a week at least. And he liked it so much, his whole family got one too. So, Tony,
shout out you and the family. I know you guys are loving the saunas. And Inferno says he has no issues with his saunas as well. We got Abner has joined. But until next week, 5 days a week, Tony's using it. I mean, Tony, you might be giving me a run for my money. Nick's the best. I don't know. Customers are the best. Our Good Health Saunas customers are the best. They tell so many of their friends and families about the saunas that we have so many customers who, like I said, reach out because they've used one at their friends. Their family says how much they love theirs. They get one. They start using it. And it's a compounding effect. That's why you see, guys, just 40,000 plus Good Health Sauna users out there, and thousands of 5-star reviews off and on all the major platforms. Tony, I love responding to my customers, and I'm always happy and try and make it super easy to work with. We got to wrap it up for this week, guys. That'll do it. Until next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m., 1 hour live session in the Good Health Saunas. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Until then, see you guys next week. Peace.